Let me say something that most people don't realize. Holly Ridge, North Carolina is on the absolute come up. 5 years ago, nobody was talking about this coastal town. Now, builders, investors, and relocation buyers alike are finding this town to be the most strategic area on the coast for its affordable homes and beautiful neighborhoods. Today, we're diving into 5 different neighborhoods that give you different feels, bayfront luxury to quiet family neighborhoods. Let's dive into it. And if you are looking for neighborhoods here in coastal North Carolina, my phone number and email address are popping up on the screen right now. I am a local realtor. I would love to chat and see how I can best help. But moving on to the first neighborhood, guys. First neighborhood is Loggerhead Bay, and it is a bayfront luxury neighborhood. You have price points in here everywhere from about $700,000, maybe $650,000 on the low end, up to about $1.3, $1.4 million on the water. You do get these nice coastal farmhouse looking homes, very custom, and most of them are going to be 4-bedroom, 2.5 or 3 bathrooms with, at the very least, 2,100 square feet. Now, this neighborhood's nice for anyone looking for peace and seclusion, privacy, a little bit of quietness in your neighborhood, but there aren't any real amenities other than the boat slips that are right here behind me. But this is a fisherman's paradise. It is a boater's paradise. If you're looking at living directly on the water, this neighborhood's going to be for you. The downside to this neighborhood is that it's kind of difficult to get to or difficult to find. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere in Holly Ridge, so making proximity to 17 a little bit further than other neighborhoods that you've heard of. But if you are looking for nice, elegant living on the water, Loggerhead Bay is a fantastic opportunity. Right next to Loggerhead Bay is Tides End. Tides End is a new-ish neighborhood right in Holly Ridge, built out by Atlantic Construction. Here you're gonna find everything from ranches to colonials and open concept floor plans and high ceilings. The price points in this neighborhood are low 300s, 325 range, up to about $500,000. And there's a handful of homes that are still being built that you can get your hands on anywhere from $325,000 up to $460,000. You do get a fair amount of space in here, anywhere from about 1,600 square feet up to 2,500 square feet. And this is not so much of your first time home buyer, but a little, maybe it's your first move up type neighborhood. There's no amenities in here, but it is very family friendly. You'll see kids running around all the time, biking, and just, playing in the neighborhood together. They also like to take advantage of Halloween and Christmas and decorate their houses to no end. It's a really cool neighborhood, but it is sort of in that weird location in Holly Ridge where you could go to Sneads Ferry or Surf City for any of your grocery shopping, restaurants, things to do, but it is right sort of like in the middle of Holly Ridge. So it does take longer to get to the grocery shopping, the restaurants, the beaches, things like that. It's just that weird location, but it is very quiet, which is why most people like moving into this neighborhood. All right, so the last 2 neighborhoods were a little bit smaller neighborhoods. This one is a Goliath compared to those. This is the neighborhoods of Holly Ridge, and this is probably gonna be the best location in terms of what people move to the coast for. Why? Because it's 5 minutes to the Surf City Bridge to get onto the island. It's only a couple minutes to get to the restaurants and the stores that Surf City has to offer, and it's packed with that quiet neighborhood feel. Yes, it is a big neighborhood, but it is a mature neighborhood. These homes were built in basically the 2010s, but some of them in the early 2000s, and you range from small ranches, about 1,500 square feet, and some a little bit smaller, all the way up to about 2,500 square feet or close to 3,000 square feet further back in the neighborhood. But when I talk about a quiet type neighborhood, what I really mean is that it's peaceful, it's friendly, and you have a lot of families that live in here, and you have walking paths, you have this little park with the gazebo and the picnic tables that you can hang out at. There's a soccer field, which is resident made. They basically got some soccer goals and set up like a little soccer field for the neighborhood. And then there's walking paths that you see people walk through all the time. So this neighborhood ranges from about $300,000 up to about $550,000. And it is extremely popular because of that proximity to Surf City, but also it offers a plethora of options, whether you're a first-time home buyer, if you're a retiree looking for single level living, or if you have a bigger family and you just need that space, then you could buy in the back half of the neighborhood. This neighborhood's also very good for long-term rentals. So if you're an investor, you can make a good chunk of change, some cash flow in this neighborhood by scooping up some of the ranches up front. All right, and so now we have a twofer. We have Reds Cove and the Retreat at Reds Cove. These neighborhoods are side by side. In fact, in order to get to the Retreat at Reds Cove, you have to drive through Reds Cove, this street right here. So beginning with Reds Cove, these houses are around the mid 2010s or so, and you get really good size houses from about 2,000 square feet up to about 3,000 square feet, and really comfortable, family-friendly floor plans. The ranges in this neighborhood are about 450,000 with some of these new construction builds that are a little bit smaller, to about $650,000. Now, the Retreat at Reds Cove is a little bit more elegant and more luxury, looking from about $1 million up to one sold at $2.5 million. These are coastal retreats, custom homes, new construction homes that are on the intercoastal waterway. They do have a boat/kayak launch in the neighborhood as well that you can take advantage of. But outside of that, the HOA is really nothing spectacular. You do have a small playground and you have that water inlet like I had mentioned, but you don't have a community pool. You don't really have sidewalks or anything like that. But the streets are very quiet, and it is a family-friendly neighborhood, so you will see kids biking and playing in the streets as well. You do have generous sized lots on Reds Cove, basically a third of an acre all the way up to 0.6 acres, and some of them even back up to trees, making it a little bit more secluded. The Retreat at Reds Cove, you have massive houses, 3,000 square feet plus, and the lots are a bit smaller. You're looking at a 1/4 acre for those lots, but the majority of them back up to water, whether it's a little canal or it's the intercoastal waterway. So this neighborhood is great for anybody looking for that water lifestyle, but also maybe a family-friendly vibe. And last but not least, we do have a second twofer. We have the Landing at Folkestone, and then we have the Village at Folkestone. Now, behind me is the Landing at Folkestone. These are the townhouse options in this neighborhood. They offer 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhomes with about 1,500 square feet or so, and some small backyards that most of them are fenced in. It's quick proximity to Highway 17, so you will see a lot of military living in this neighborhood because it's a quick zip up the road to Camp Lejeune, but also, it's 30 minutes or so down to Wilmington. So if you want to live near Surf City, in between, Sneads Ferry and Surf City, and or be close to base, it's a great townhome community. The prices are in basically the mid 200,000s, slightly over 300,000. And on the other side here is the Village at Folkestone, and you do get some very sizable homes. We're looking at 3,000 square feet plus, and they're very affordable for the space that you get. These are a little bit more traditional. You have room separation, not as open concept as you see a lot of the new construction, but they're very affordable for that much space. We're looking at about 400 and $20,000 up to about $550,000. These are a great investment if you have a big family, you have lots of kids, or maybe your parents come and visit on the weekends or couple, once a month or whatever the case is. This is a fantastic opportunity to get a sizable house, decent backyard, very low HOA, and a relatively affordable budget. The $400,000 to $550,000 range is a pretty popular budget in this area, but it is right off of the landing at Folkestone. So the proximity to 17, to Camp Lejeune, to Wilmington, Surf City, Sneads Ferry, all of it is wonderful. The HOA for the landing at Folkestone really doesn't cover a whole lot, but what it does cover is the master insurance on the exterior of the property. So, your roof, your siding, that kind of thing. And then also the mailboxes. And then the village at Folkestone, HOA really is street maintenance and street lights, but that's about it. There's no real restrictions. There's no amenity center, no playground, anything like that. It is pretty low key, but you will find a ton of families kind of cruising around on their bikes, going on walks, having block parties together, and certainly decorating for the holidays like Halloween. And the cool thing about these two neighborhoods is that they're both municipal sewer, something you don't really find very often in this neck of the woods. A lot of it is septic tanks, but here you have municipal sewer. So if you're looking for, a little less maintenance, put it on the town's responsibility, these neighborhoods are gonna be great. All right, so if you're interested in any of the neighborhoods we covered today, or any other neighborhoods around the Holly Ridge, Surf City, Wilmington, Eastern North Carolina area, my phone number and email address are popping up on the screen right now. Feel free to reach out. I would love to have a conversation and see how I can best help. But until the next video, guys, peace. See you later. Bye.